information, but we do like to have a lot of fun. For those of you that are guests, I want to just tell you a little bit about myself. I've been in practice since 2003. I've been practicing in Canton since 2004. And Moss Family Chiropractic will be celebrating its 10-year anniversary this October. So I'm very excited. And guys, I got to tell you, I love what I do. And for those of you who know me, you probably already figured that out. But I love being a chiropractor. I love being a maximized living doctor. And I love it more every single day. Because I see more and more of you seeing more and more results. And that is the only reason why I wake up in the morning, is to see the transformations that happen in my office and in my community. I love it, I love it, I love it. Now, in case you guys haven't figured out, we're going to ask you to participate here tonight. Kind of stand up. You're already worked out. We're going to ask you to sit down. We're going to have all kinds of fun. But one thing I want you to do, and the reason why I really want you to participate is, two guys, they join a gym. One goes in there, he's working out with a personal trainer, he's there 3 days a week, he's doing what he's supposed to do. And the other guy joins the gym, buys the clothes, drinks the water, and kind of just watches people work out. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Which one of those two guys get results? The person who's participating. The person who is engaging. And actually doing what it's going to take to get the results. Participation equals transformation. This is how you get those results. So I'm going to ask you to participate again right now. What is your family's number one asset? Health. I only heard one person say it.
Health.
What is your family's number one asset?
Health.
What is your health? End of story. That is it. Period. So what I'd like you to do is, everybody was given a piece of notepaper, and a pencil or a pen. Go ahead and pull it out for me. What I'd like you to do is write down your definition of health. Now don't shoot off your neighbor. This is for you, your eyes only. I would like you to write down your definition of health. We're going to be talking about that in a little while. Go ahead and take your seconds to do this. There's a reason why I want you to know this. Listen to some of these statistics while you're writing down your definition of health. 18% of children ages 6 to 11 are obese. The number one disease that is killing our children ages 5 to 14 is cancer. 6.8 million children have asthma, which accounts for 14.2 million physician visits every single year. Autoimmune conditions are skyrocketing, and autism is now affecting 1 in 68 children. 1 in 68. 10 years ago it was 1 in 125. 20 years ago it was like 1 in 400. Guys, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. It's getting worse. And my point of telling you these statistics is what? If you don't have your health, what do you have?
Nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing. In fact, there's a new disease out there. Does everybody have your definition of health written down? Go ahead and put that to the side. We're going to be addressing that here in a little while. But there's a new disease out there that I really wanted to take some time about and talk to you guys about. It's called Ebola. Have you guys ever heard of it? It's reported on CNN. Yeah, Ebola. An airborne disease that spreads through conversation, entering your brain through your ears. Ebola is so contagious that some victims have contracted it by simply seeing the images and videos about Ebola. Guys, if you ever watch the news, it's all what? It's all fear-based. Scare, 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 to the point where you don't want to leave your house. They scare you about Ebola. They scare you about SARS and whooping cough and pertussis and Y2K back in the day. Don't fear. Don't fear germs. Now, guys, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to go to Kroger and look at the shopping cart handle or let's sneeze on each other for fun. Okay, don't do that. But I'm not afraid of germs, and you really shouldn't be afraid of germs either. Because you need to understand that God created germs, but He also created an immune system inside of you to protect you from these germs. So as long as your immune system is functioning the way God intended it to function, you really shouldn't have much to fear. Now, I went to do one of the things I love to do this weekend, and I want to just tell you about a perspective I had. I love to go to mountains, stand in the middle of a river, and fish. And And something went wrong this weekend. Had a little accident. Some of you are chuckling already because I know you saw the pictures on Facebook. So this is what happened. This is my head. Oh! That's my forehead. It's right here. Right there. Little bump. So let me tell you how this happened. So I'm standing on a rock in the middle of a river, and I'm fishing. And I wasn't going to continue to fish if I wasn't getting bites, but they were biting. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be here as long as it takes. And I wasn't paying attention because my son was down here, and I threw it, and I hit a tree. Hanging up over the creek. So I'm like, okay, it gets stuck. And I'm like, give it a little yank, little yank. I'm like, all right, I'm giving it one yank before I'm getting in there and going over there. One yank, 50 miles an hour. And it didn't hit the ground. And I'm like, it's in there. Oh no. And I'll tell you, I'm the only one that experienced it, but I really wish I had a way to capture my 8-year-old's face who's standing in the water below me. I go, Sander, is it bad? And he goes, oh my goodness. It was hilarious. It was deep, guys. It was in there. So they don't think exactly how I did. My mom's like, okay, did you get tetanus shot? You're on antibiotics. I mean, you can't fight. You need to get the tetanus. You need to get the antibiotics. And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm good. I'm good. So did you go home? I'm like, no. I'm actually back on the rock fishing again. Like, no, of course not. So, guys, it's really a matter of perspective. It really is, how do you look at things? Take a look at this picture here. Raise your hand if you see a woman that's looking away with a white bonnet. Raise your hand if you see her. A young woman. Raise your hand if you see an old lady that looks like a witch looking down. Raise your hand if you don't see either. We use glasses for those folks. Yeah. It's just perspective. It's the same picture, how we're looking at it. You guys, does everybody see both? Anybody not see both? You don't see both? It took me a little while. See, in front of the woman's face, here's the bonnet, she's looking away, and then the old woman, here's her mouth, here's her eye, she's looking down. You got it, Lori? Okay, good. It took me a while, I couldn't see that either. Like, oh, there it is. So, again, it's all about your perspective. You know, why do some kids get sick and some don't? It's your immune system. It is your immune system. You know, everybody says, kids are sick, they're full of germs, they're sick all the time. Well, if germs really, truly got you sick, wouldn't teachers always be sick? Yeah. Wouldn't your household get sick at the same time? Yeah, it comes down to your immune system. So my point of telling you this is, one, germs are everywhere. You'll never avoid them, no matter how hard you try. So instead of trying to avoid them by sanitizing absolutely everything, instead, what should you do? Try to build up that immune system inside of you. Because if your immune system is functioning the way it's supposed to, germs are not going to get you. And that really comes down to having a strong foundation. If you have a strong foundation, that's how you build a strong immune system. This is from Matthew 7:24. I had to read this because this is two beautiful houses built right on the water. One's on a foundation of rock, one's on sand. But it states, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the wind blew and beat against that house. Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. I want to build my immune system like it's built on a rock. How about you guys? Yeah, me too. And you never know what the foundation looks like on the inside just by looking at somebody from the outside. Patrick Swayze, manliest guy in the 80s, Dirty Dancing, Roadhouse. Everybody wanted to be this guy. Good looking dude. He looked fit, he looked the part, he ate right, he exercised. And at age 57, he gets cancer and dies. This is what he looked like. Doesn't look like the same guy. It's sad I can't even look at it because that's not the guy I remember. I don't want to remember that guy either. I'm sure you don't either. So raise your hand if you want to learn something that's going to help build your immune system here today. Even if there's just one thing. Raise your hand. Good. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go through the 5 essentials of maximized living. But I told you and I asked you guys to write down your definition of health. What I'm going to do is I would like to ask a few people to share that with us. Who would like to share their definition of health? All right. Tracy?
Ability to ward off disease.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You're raising your hand.
Feeling good and energetic.
Feeling good and energetic. What else? I got one back there. Yes, Ed.
Free of disease and allergies.
Free of disease and allergies. Scott, has your hand up.
Good functioning body, with your nerves active, next have a good positive C curve and positive.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Anybody else want to share? Oh, Bob, you want to share? Or you had your hand up. Are you hitting? Sorry. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Feeling good, living well, not sick, disease free.
Okay. So I got a lot of good definitions of health. I want to take them, condense them into a very few words. And I'd like to get those pens out, get that paper out, and I'm going to write that, and I want you to write down this definition of health. It's an equation. Health equals function and healing at 100%. Healing and functioning at 100%. Period. That is it. Health equals healing and functioning at 100%. Period. You're going to be seeing this in your sleep tonight. Health equals functioning and healing at 100%. What? Period. There's nothing else. Because if your body is functioning and healing at 100%, how much disease are you going to get? 0. You're going to probably feel pretty good. You're going to be functioning pretty well. This is where we all want to be. Would you agree? Yeah, me too. So we do have a lot of guests here. Let me explain to you about the 5 essentials of maximized living. It is a healthcare delivery system, and we have 5 essentials. Think of it as only 5, not 10, but they're essential to your life, which means that we all need it. We all need to practice our lives this way. The first one here is maximize mind. We just had a big dose of maximize mind, understanding where the definition of health is. It's healing and functioning at 100%. Is there awake out there? Mm-hmm. Okay, if we need to do another workout, I mean, we can absolutely make that happen.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Healing and functioning 100%. Okay, number 2 there is your maximize nerve supply, because we understand that your brain is what powers and gives us the source of life. We need to make sure there's no interruption between the brain and the body, because if there's interruption, that causes us to lose our life. Number 3 is maximize nutrients. You have to give your body the right nutrients in order for it to function properly. The 4th one up there looks like somebody is getting fit, exercise. But we don't exercise to look good and maximize living. That's a side effect. We exercise for one reason. To burn fat, build muscle. There's 3 reasons, I guess. Build muscle, burn fat, and maximize oxygen. We're getting oxygen to our cells. We're burning fat, and we're building muscle. That's why we exercise. We're going to be talking about that here today. And the last one is minimizing your exposures to toxins. Toxins kill you. Toxins build up in our body. They lead to cancer. They lead to disease. We need to minimize our exposure to these. God created white blood cells and neutrophils and all kinds of different white blood cells to go in and kill anything that would try to infect you. Whether it's a germ, whatever that really is, a bacteria, a virus, cancer, whatever it is, your body's killing you. So I have a favor to ask you guys here tonight. Will you be my immune system up here? While I'm up here, will you guys protect me? Will you guys have my back here tonight?
Yes.
Okay, good. So those little white ping pong balls you got, those represent white blood cells. So at any time tonight, keep those handy. At any time tonight, you see something threatening me. Will you attack it? Now don't hit me. I just want you to attack anything that's coming after me that I don't know about. Okay, you guys promise me you got my back?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful, good. So I want to show you a video about what white blood cells do to cervical cancer cells. I'm about to hit play. What you're going to see is cervical cancer cells are these circles, and you'll see a lot of little cells running around it, and then you'll see a yellow arrow pointed at it. When you look at that yellow arrow, it'll start to destroy it. It's really cool. Take a look.
I'm not really feeling all that bad. I only had a little chance of losing all my hair, but it happened to me anyway, which really isn't fair. Cancer sucks. these doctors and
That's courtesy of Wake Forest University School of Medicine. Pretty cool stuff. Has anybody ever seen your white blood cells deal with cancer? No. It's pretty neat, isn't it? That's what's going on inside of your body right now. Right now, it's attacking things that, you guys remember, germs are everywhere. They're inside of you, they're on you, they're everywhere. Your white blood cells are always attacking and killing and keeping things at bay. You just have no idea. There's no need for you to know about it. So what interferes with that ability to happen? What interferes with that wonderful process? There's four things. Stress, subluxation, you have your sugar and processed foods and gut issues, and then you have toxins. So I have another short video I want to show you that helps you understand how stress can affect your immune system. Let's take a look at this.
We now understand that there's a complex biochemical link between stress, the immune system, and illness. When we're stressed, the brain causes the release of chemicals which go through the bloodstream and activate the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands, in turn, give the body a shot of some very potent hormones, adrenaline and cortisol. Both give us a boost of energy, highly useful for survival. But when the stress is continuous and unremitting, cortisol continues to be released into the bloodstream. One of the side effects of cortisol is to suppress the activity of our immune system, leaving us vulnerable to infection and disease. Lower the stress, and you lower the risk of infection.
It's a simplified version of that.
Bit funny.
A bit funny, just a little bit. But after doing a lot of research, I realized that that is actually inaccurate. Bear is actually countries. So that guy would have been a long time ago. Okay, so let's talk about stress. Has anybody ever had an event in their life that was very, very stressful and they noticed they got sick afterwards? That happened to me every time I took my boards. Students, you guys listen. This happened every single, there's 4 national boards you have to take to become a chiropractor. Studied a ton. Did not, couple all-nighters, don't recommend them, but I did them. And then every time I took the boards, did well, next week, crash. I was running on adrenaline and cortisol, and it just was not good for my body. My immune system was being suppressed, and I held out just in time for me to take that test, and then crashed. Same thing with getting married. Just big events in your life that are stressful, you'll get sick after because of all that stress. So we need to figure out ways to decrease our stress. There's a new field called psychoneuroimmunology that actually shows that long-term chronic stress through too much wear and tear in your body will actually decrease your immune system's ability to function. And what's really interesting is that this slide right here shows that it's a two-way street between your brain, your hormones, your nerves, and then your gut. So when stress affects your brain, it doesn't just affect your brain, it affects your gut. It affects your neurotransmitters, it affects your hormones, and vice versa. You ever have a bellyache and then kind of get stressed out over it? Have you ever gotten anxious and get a bellyache from being anxious? Yeah, it's a two-way street. What they're showing now is that not only is your immune system in your gut, but what they're saying now is your gut can actually determine your mood. There's more serotonin receptors in your gut than in your brain, which is why antidepressants don't really work. If you fixed your gut, you can be happier. I've done so much research, and guys, I only have an hour of your time, but we could talk hours about each of these subjects. Very, very interesting stuff. So stress will reduce your immune system. So we need to figure out ways to fix that. Number 2 is subluxation. Give me a patient. Give me an answer. What is subluxation? Okay, that's the easiest answer right there. Your nerves are not doing what they're supposed to do. Very good, Simone. I like it. All right, let's go a little bit deeper into what spinal subluxation is. Subluxation is when the bone of your spine shifts out of alignment. And this is very, very important because we understand that your brain is where God put the power that created you, and it runs down the spinal cord. It leaves the spinal cord as a nerve. That nerve then takes messages to every single organ in your entire body. So for your organs to function at what percent? 100%. In order for them to function at 100%, there needs to be zero interference between the brain and that organ. So what happens then if there is a pinched nerve? It is interference. So think of this. You have a 20-acre farm. You've had it for 3 years. You've had irrigation put in, and it's been beautiful. Nice big crops. Everything's green. You get up on your tower, look out. There's 20 acres. Gorgeous. Year after year after year. And all of a sudden, one year, you see this section that just started to wilt, turn brown. It's supposed to be green. It's turning brown. What do? Do you go and get some green paint and cover it up? That sounds ridiculous. But you know, you can put fertilizer, just chemical treat it.
You cut it off.
You can just cut it in, you can just mow it down. Or why don't we look and hey, why is it going down? Why is it wilting? It's the irrigation system. What'd you say, Ed?
I said, take a soil sample.
They take a soil sample, figure that one out. But the easier, but you know what's even easier is to go follow that hose and go, oh my gosh, it was cut right here. Somebody was out there weed eating and cut it. So it was cut off from that whole section. You want it to turn brown. So what do? Reattach it. Take the pressure off the nerve. Take the pressure off the hose. Reestablish that connection between the water source and those crops. What's going to happen? Life comes back. And this is one of my favorite questions people ask. Well, how long is that going to take? Can anybody answer?
Lifetime.
That could be.
No, you
Oh, no, I'm just saying, how long is it going to take for those crops to come back once you start watering them? The answer is, who knows? I don't know. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months. Do you have patience? It could be years. Who knows? All I know is that the best thing you can ever do for those plants is what? Water them. So if you have pressure on a nerve, that nerve is going to a section of your body that is no longer working, and you give that section of your body drugs to make it feel better, are you doing yourself any good? No. Instead of just covering it up, you should really be looking at the source. Why is it not functioning? Why is it not working? Remove the interference, and what happens? Life. Life is restored. I don't know if you guys saw the quote up there a little bit ago, but darkness is the absence of light. Disease is the absence of life. All we need to do is restore back to your body and do what it's supposed to do. So, for those of you who are guests, there are signs that you might have subluxation. A lot of people think you go to a chiropractor because you have a bad back, right? Well, you must have a bad back, that's why you go. Neck pain, back pain, headaches, sciatic pain. Those are what a lot of people might think. There's a lot more to it. Because if you have pressure on a nerve, like a nerve is going to your heart, you're going to have high blood pressure. You're going to have heart problems. If you have pressure on the nerve that goes to your lungs, you're going to have asthma. You're going to have COPD. You're going to have chronic lung infections. How about depression? I mean, there's a whole host of problems that can be caused by subluxation, and most people have no idea they can get it checked. So what happens when you have spinal cord interference? This happens. Christopher Reeves fell off a horse, broke his neck, put pressure on the spinal cord all the way at the top. So if you cut it off right here, what happens to everything below? Is it getting what it needs? No, it can't function anymore. No wonder the first thing that people say is he can't walk. But then I'm like, well, what about breathing? No, he can't breathe on his own. He can't digest his own food. He can't go to the bathroom. There's nothing wrong with those organs except this, pressure on the spinal cord. So how do you know if you have pressure on the spinal cord? What kind of test do you do? We do 3 tests to find out if you have spinal subluxation. The first thing we do is we check your posture. If your posture is off, your ears are a little high, you're a little rotated, the shoulders high, you most likely have a subluxation problem. Whether you feel it or not, it's there. That will lead us into thermal imaging, where we're going to nerve scan to find out how are the nerves actually functioning. Because if they're functioning perfect, you would see no colors. But if there's a differential in color, that means you do have a nerve problem, or you need to take x-rays. You take x-rays. X-rays are structural. They're going to tell us exactly how bad is the subluxation, how long has it been there, what organs are being affected, and how can I even help that person. So for the guests here, don't worry. We're going to give you an opportunity to get your spinal checkup later in the office. Okay? Let's move on. So what else interferes with your immune system? Sugar, processed foods, and the gut. Found this in Prevention Magazine. When a person is malnourished, their immune system is compromised. When you restore proper nutrition to that person, the immune system is restored. If you continue to improve that person's nutrition, so will the immune system. You gotta give your body what it needs. So the gut. We're going to talk a lot about this in the next 2 slides. Does anybody here know if somebody has skin problems like eczema, psoriasis, chronic colds, flus, congestion, sinus problems, allergies, ear infections, brain fog, depression? Yeah, I think everybody knows somebody, if not everybody here, has experienced this at one time in their life. Most likely you do have a gut problem. Your gut is your immune system. Most people have no idea. They think it's those white blood cells that are running around, but it's your immune system that actually lies in your gut. You have 10 times more bacteria cells that live in your gut than you do human body cells. That's 37 trillion to 370 trillion. Anybody else grossed out by that? 2.5 pounds of bacteria live in your gut right now. Yes. So let's think of your gut. Starting here, ends down here. Think of it as a hose. You put water in that hose, it goes in one end, comes out the other. You put food in this hose, it goes in one end and comes out the other. That food is never actually inside your body. Let that sink in for a second. So I read this, I was like, wait, that's it. Oh wow, that makes sense. It's kind of crazy to think about. The food never is actually inside your body. It's just inside a tube that's open to the outside here and down there. That's it. The food, it doesn't get to the bloodstream. All your body does is takes that food and digests it, breaks it down. The enzymes break it down even further. And your body absorbs and assimilates the vitamins, the nutrients, everything that it needs to repair your tissues, make your body function, and for you to heal yourself. Pretty cool stuff, right? So that bacteria is part of a mucosal lining on the inside of your gut. It's nice and thick for a reason. It's trying to protect your bloodstream from the food that's inside. You do not want food in your bloodstream. Now, what happens when you eat foods that you maybe shouldn't be eating? Like sugar. Sugar causes what? Inflammation.
Diabetes.
It does. Guys, just to let you know, this is my #1 student here. He's front and center in every single workshop. He would never go back and watch the movie. He's always right here, and he always is very participatory. Thank you, AJ. You're absolutely right. Diabetes. Too much sugar. Okay? Sugar not really causes inflammation in your cells. So does conventional dairy. So does gluten. So do omega-6 fatty acids that are inflammatory, like your vegetable oils. So the cells in your gut should be butted up against each other like this. Nice and sealed. But you keep eating these foods that cause inflammation, those cells start to swell and start to create gaps between the cells. And what happens then is the food particles actually can leak through that gap into your bloodstream. This is something called leaky gut syndrome. Has anybody ever heard of that before? Yeah, it's very big right now because of how much we've been eating poorly, and it's just it's shedding light on this issue. More and more people are starting to understand that the gut plays a huge part in your health. So what happens then is this will lead to food intolerances and food allergies. So if you know somebody that has a food intolerance or food allergy, most likely it stemmed from leaky gut syndrome, and then that food particle kept getting out. Gluten is one of the big ones. That one gluten, when you eat gluten, it actually opens up those cells and creates that gap. That's why gluten is really not something anybody should be eating. Now, food intolerances will lead to immune imbalances and abnormalities because what happens is your body starts having these reactions, and the immune system is constantly attacking food particles that are in your blood that are not supposed to be there. So now you're constantly fighting. You ever feel run down all the time? That's why. Because your body's fighting food. Your body's not supposed to be fighting food, but it is trying to do the right thing and protect you. Now, after it does this for a while, it starts to realize that these food particles are made up of the same thing that our body's made up of. And it starts to attack our cells. This is called autoimmune disease. Autoimmune diseases are rampant right now. They are getting worse and worse and worse. Things like rheumatoid arthritis, type 1 diabetes, lupus, MS, celiac disease, they're getting worse and worse and worse. Since 1950, celiac disease is up 4 times. Lupus rates have tripled, and type 1 diabetes has soared up 23% in the last 10 years. Fructose, sports drinks, and then again, cereal all made of grain. Grain turns into sugar. So did I just ruin somebody's breakfast tomorrow morning, or what? No, I'm sorry. But a lot of you guys out there are patients, and you guys have already done something different. What are you guys doing for breakfast these days? Smoothies. Yeah, eggs, organic eggs. Smoothies is a big one. That's what I do.
Waffles?
Waffles? No, I don't do waffles. Nice try, though. Nice try.
Flour waffle.
Almond flour, yes, you can do the almond flour waffles. Very good. See, almond flour waffles. I do think the almond flour pancakes, they're really good. But my favorite thing to do, and my go-to for breakfast, is a smoothie. And I do organic berries, I do some spinach, I do almond milk, and then I do a high-quality protein powder. So I get this question all the time about protein. Which protein do I use? People bring the craziest ones in, and I look at it like, no. Like, first ingredient, no. So let me just tell you what you should be looking for. Number one, it needs to be grass-fed. Your protein has to be grass-fed. If it's not grass-fed, I will not put it into my body. It is going to cause inflammation. The second thing is you need to look for reduced to no sugar, meaning that they're going to use something other than sugar to make it taste good. Unfortunately, 95% of the products out there use sucralose to make it taste good. You're looking for something sweet with something called stevia or xylitol. And then the third thing is you really want to make sure it's still bioactive. They heat up that protein and absolutely destroy all the stuff that was good, like your enzymes that are still in it. And that is really the reason why I use the perfect protein. Who here uses that? Raise your hand. Yeah, most people here do. It's chocolate, it's vanilla, it's fantastic, and it fits the bill. It fits the criteria. It's 100% grass-fed, it's stevia sweetened, and it's still bioactive. It helps your immune system by helping to heal your gut with all 22 amino acids. All right, what about the fourth one? What else interferes with our immune system? Toxins. And again, notice in here, with the maximized living, the 5 essentials, we talk about minimizing toxins, not avoiding toxins. Because if you avoided toxins, I always ask this, where would you have to live? I had the best answer the other night. We did a doctor's report, and I asked that question. Usually I hear in a bubble, but I say that bubble's made of plastic. They're like, oh, darn it. And then somebody would say, oh, you look pole, and I said, well, they just found PBDE, which is flame retardant in polar bear blood. So like we can't go there either. Best answer I ever heard was this past Tuesday. She said on another planet. I said you were correct. 500 points. All right, so toxins. We need to avoid toxins. And where are these toxins? Your vegetable oils are all toxic. They are rancid at room temperature, highly oxidized. They are going to wreak havoc on your body. They cause inflammation. They lead to heart disease. They lead to cancer. So your vegetable oils are going to be your soybean oil, safflower, sunflower, cottonseed, canola is highly GMO, corn. I mean, guys, it's in every bread, cracker, cookie, cake that you could ever buy on the shelf. It's what makes it stay on the shelf. It is not meant for human consumption. So make your own, use different oils. We're talking about what to do instead. Preservatives. Again, this always comes down to reading your ingredient list. If you can read the ingredients and decipher what's real and what's not real, you would put the stuff that's not real back on the shelf. Preservatives like sodium benzoate, BHT, BHA. This is just a very short list of a huge list of things you should never put into your body. Again, the only reason why preservatives is in a food is not for your health. It's to keep the product up by making sure that those foods don't go bad. Medications. Medications like antibiotics. What do antibiotics do? What do they kill? They kill bacteria. Do they kill good bacteria or bad bacteria? No. They kill all bacteria. And what did I just tell you consisted of 85% of your immune system? Was bacteria, the good bacteria. So no wonder antibiotics are not really that good for you because they destroy your immune system. Have you ever taken antibiotics and got sick sitting right now? Yeah, because you don't have an immune system anymore. You need to be very, very careful. Completely wipes out the good bacteria and can lead to autoimmune diseases. Alcohol. That was for you, Bob.
On 2 weeks.
That's fair. I know. I'm proud of it.
And my son and hunt buddy sat there and drank beer in front of me yesterday. Just drove me nuts.
The longer without it, the easier it gets.
It was fun.
Yes. And then chemicals in your soaps, deodorant, sunscreens. The Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, is a fantastic resource for finding out toxic loads and different things. But they say the average person is exposed to more than 126 chemicals before leaving their bathroom in the morning. Yeah. 126 chemicals. Not so good. Not so good. So now the question is, Why would you feed your body something that's destroying its ability to heal itself? To protect you. Why would you do that? You don't have that reason anymore, do you? Bob?
I'm back on your antibiotics.
Mm-hmm.
You cut yourself, you put triple antibiotic on it, and instead of having a local infection, you don't. So what's the alternative?
What do you want to put on this?
Would you put on
I put a drop of tea tree oil, and my wife put a drop of coconut oil on it, and that was it. That was pretty good.
Okay.
And I had a lot of
Clean it out.
things.
I've got arthritis, what do I do for that? I do.
Just take drugs.
Huh?
We'll talk later about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it really depends on which one and all kinds of other issues that are going on. There's a lot to talk about that. We'll talk about that. So let's do this. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about the 5 things that are going to help heal your gut and restore your immune system and make it strong again. Reduce stress. Rebalance your nervous system. Replace the sugar and processed foods with whole foods. Get regular exercise and reduce toxins. Simple, right? Not that hard. Kind of sounds like the 5 essentials, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's go through each one of these. So, help your body combat stress and anxiety naturally. Do things that you love to do. That's why we go to the mountains every once in a while. That's why we go to the beach. That's why I like to fish. My wife said, you can cut anything in 8 hours. I'm like, it's not really about catching anything. It's about trying to catch something. And being out in the middle of a river and just soaking it all in. What river was I on? It was actually Fighting Town Creek up in Epworth. It was gorgeous. It wasn't that big, but I didn't think I was going to catch it or anything. But I've cast out and something biting. I'm like, all right, stay in. Yeah. What's that? I even caught my forehead. It was awesome. You know what's hilarious about that? My daughter, my 4-year-old, every time I go to cast it, she goes, Daddy, not here. Not there. And I'm like, okay, honey, I got it. Daddy, not here. All right, sweetheart, I got it. So how do we reduce stress? Who here feels less stress when they leave my office versus when they come in my office? I know I do. Yeah, the adjustments, we reduce stress. Depends on the individual. That's a good point. Yes, chiropractic care. Exercise is going to help reduce stress. Exercise, regular, especially the surge training that we do with the Max T3, it actually reduces cortisol levels, brings stress down, reduces anxiety. A very important way of exercising, not just your typical go running. It's surge training. Enjoy hobbies, cuddle, laugh, go out with friends. My wife and I have 2 things that we love to do on our dates. One, we go take dance lessons, which is just a ton of fun. And the other thing we do is we like to go see comedians. Because who doesn't like a laugh? You know what? We need to go laugh. Who's coming into town? Let's go. I don't care if we already know who it is. Just go. If I get one chuckle out of it, I'm good. Okay, number 2, rebalance the nervous system. Hippocrates, BC, years and years and years ago, said, look well to the spine for the cause of disease. Hippocrates. Amazing, right? Father of modern medicine said that. Not to give them drugs. Look to the spine for the cause of disease. So there's a study I want to share with you that directly relates your nervous system to the immune system. This was back in 2010. Chiropractic adjustments temporarily influence interleukin-2. Interleukin-2 is a messenger in your immune system that stimulates the growth of T cells. T cells attack specific disease-causing agents. They also activate T cells and natural killer cells, which kill cancer. So from this is a direct quote. One could assume from this work, actual spinal correction and ongoing spinal wellness care would help to establish more ideal interleukin-2 levels and immune strength on a long-term basis. So, is there any other proof you would need to correct your spine and keep it that way for the rest of your life? Keep that immune system function, kill cancer? I'm in. You in? Heck yeah. It just makes sense. You're in? Just making sure. You've been in since you were born. Yes. I hear stories about this all the time from my patients about how their immune system is functioning. They're not getting sick anymore. In fact, I have a family that I'm extremely proud of. That I'd like Mom to come up here in just a second and just tell her our story, or her story about her family, who before coming to see me, their kids got sick quite often. They were regulars at their pediatrician, and ever since then, things have changed. So, Jennifer, would you mind coming up? So let's give Jennifer a hand, please. Tell us the story about the kids.
Let's see, it was a couple years ago, and like Dan said, the kids were getting sick all the time. We were constantly at the pediatrician. We all started coming, getting adjusted, making changes, and let's see, I guess it's been 2 years, and every time we go to the pediatrician, the nurse flips the page for each, we have 3 children, and they look and they're like, we haven't seen you since the last checkup. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. So, I mean, that's a huge change. You know, they're all in school and preschool, and, you know, they get sick, but they get better a lot faster, and it's not very often that they're sick. So it's huge changes for us.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Part about this family and the story with them is their strength and their knowledge of how the body functions now, and their power of understanding that when their kids do throw up, there's a reason why their body's trying to get rid of something. Why would you never try to stop that? You go to your pediatrician, they're going to say your child is sick, they need to stay home, and we need to get them to stop throwing up, or they're headed to the hospital. I know in the very beginning when they started started care with me, now they're friends of ours, but I give every single one of you my cell phone number, you can have it. She would text me, Dan, throwing up, a little nervous, want to go to the doctor, what do I do? I said, well, it's 4 in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. Just never did that. But I was like, no, you come to the office, and we're going to get your daughter checked, and we're going to remove the interference, and we're going to send you home. You're going to rest, and tomorrow, wake up and it's a new child. Every single time it happens that way. It's not about giving your child medication. It's about removing interference. We love it. So, when would you want to find out if you had subluxation that's keeping your immune system depressed? I know, I would want to know now. Yesterday, when I was born, 10 years ago? Absolutely. So this right here is a little girl. She's 8 years old. She comes to the office. Her spine is supposed to be straight. Is that spine straight? No, that's subluxation. That's the beginning stages of scoliosis. Her parents said, she doesn't really have any pain. It's not really affecting her life right now, so we're going to go ahead and wait. I said, that's not a good idea. She said, well, it's really busy. School just started. She's a cheerleader. She's in school, and she's doing all this stuff. We don't really have the money. And I said, you know what? I can't force you to do this. I can just give you the best information. You're going to make the best choice that you can. So they chose not to get the spine corrected. 4 years later, she walks back in the office. That is what her spine looked like. That's 4 years of progressive scoliosis. Guys, I don't like giving that kind of information to a parent. Especially when that parent, how do you think that parent felt about that decision they made 4 years ago? Yeah. Horrible. Awful. You never want to say, I wish I had, when it comes to your kids. Different story. 8-year-old boy comes in the office. His spine looks worse than hers does. Mom goes, I get this. This makes tons of sense. We need to take pressure off now. We need to fix it when? Now. Because every day we leave it there, it's getting what? It's getting worse. So we need to get this fixed now. So she says, I don't care what it's going to take. She said, he plays football every day after school. I said, I don't care. I got a note. I'll write you a letter. She said, perfect. That's awesome. You think Mom really thought football was more important than her son's spine? No. Priorities. What's your number 1 priority again? Your health. Football? Don't give me a 1A and 1B thing. It's health. Okay, I'm a football fan too, but there's nothing more important.
Robin's first exhibition game was Friday.
My Steelers played last night. That's all I really know. This is him, 8-year-old boy, 24 visits later. Just 2 months later. How do you think the parents felt about that decision? Fantastic. That boy is healthy, and they're going to keep him that way for the rest of his life. So if you have subluxation, what's the only way we're going to find out? Get it checked. You've got to get it checked. That's it. So for those of you that are guests, I want you to reach into your yellow folder. Those of you that guess you're the ones with the yellow folders, in case you didn't know. Okay. And I would like you to pull out this sheet right here. It's a little half sheet. I promised you I was going to give you an opportunity to get a checkup. We're going to do that right now. What we're going to do is invite you to come to the office to get this checkup. And at the office, what we're going to do is we're going to do orthopedic testing, neurological testing. We're going to check your posture. We're going to run the computerized nerve test to find out if you have subluxation. And if you do find subluxation, we are going to take x-rays. It's the only way to know if you have a problem. So what you're going to do is you're going to write your name at the top. Go ahead and write your name at the top here. And put your date of birth. And then give us your phone number. And make sure it's your phone number, and not your disconnected neighbor's phone number, because you don't want to call you. Okay? And what we've done, we've opened up just a few appointments in the next 3 or 4 days here, just for you guys. Typically, if you came right off the street, that visit's over $200. We're doing it tonight for you for $40. And that includes your x-rays, if we need to take them. I wanted to make sure everybody here had a chance to get a checkup. Okay? So all I need you to do is circle the day and time that works best for you to come to the office and get the checkup. And when you're done, I want you to go ahead and wave them in the air like you just don't care. just wave them up, and my staff is going to come around and get those for you and get you scheduled. Okay, so go ahead, honestly, but you do need to put them up, otherwise they're not going to know that you're ready. Go ahead and put them up in the air, they're going to come and get you scheduled. And in your yellow packet, you actually have your new patient paperwork. We're already here for you. All you need to do is fill it out and bring it to the office. It'll save you about 20 minutes. Okay? All right, so while our guests are getting their appointments scheduled, let's move on to talking about food. If you want to be more alive than dead, eat more food that is more alive than dead. Easy enough, right? Yeah. So our body's been destroyed from past antibiotic use, antacids, NSAIDs, and taking pain medication is destroying that lining of the gut. You've created leaky gut syndrome. You now have autoimmune disease. We need to repair this. So the first thing you need to do is remove the offending foods. This is why we always start, especially if you have this type of issue, putting you on a nutrition plan. The nutrition plan we recommend for this is the advanced plan. I know a lot of you are actually on it right now. Taking your sugars and grains away, taking out alcohol to help that gut actually heal and seal that leaky gut. Next, we want to repair. The way we repair that is we add something called L-glutamine into your diet. It's an amino acid, but this specific amino acid actually will help seal those holes in your gut while your body heals them. So we do that. We add in fish oil, high doses of omega-3 fish oil, vitamin D. So you're doing a kind of little cocktail to help your body heal. You're using the Max GI, enzymes. Again, this is all here to help your gut inner lining heal so we can fix that leaky gut syndrome. And then we're going to restore the integrity of the inner flora, or adding probiotics back into your gut. Now, this is just, again, a summary of what we can do for you. Some of you have major issues, I know, some major MS and other diseases like that, autoimmune problems. If you do have that, make sure you talk to me at your consultation with me, because there might be some further testing that we need to do so we can give you the right protocols to do. So I wrote down some foods that actually strengthen your immune system. Not just your gut, but actually strengthen your immune system. One of them is vitamin D. Your immune system, every cell in your immune system has a receptor for vitamin D on it, and that cell cannot be activated to go kill until it has vitamin D. So if anybody asked me here tonight, if there was one supplement I can get, I can only afford to get one, what do you think it would be? Vitamin D. Studies show that if your vitamin D level is in the midsection or lower, you just increase your rate of death from any disease by 25%. So I want my vitamin D level way as high as I can get them. The way you do that is take between 5,000 and 10,000 international units every single day. Not the 600 that they tell you not to take. Tell you it takes you to go get rickets. I'm not about not getting rickets, I'm about preventing cancer and other heart disease and MS. So you're increasing it to 5,000 to 10,000 international units a day, and if you take it with a probiotic, your vitamin D will actually absorb exponentially better than just taking it. So make sure you take it with a probiotic. That's why, again, we have the nice one, the big one. It has probiotics in it. It also has prebiotics, which feed the probiotics, which makes it really cool. Kevin?
Can you get the vitamin D from foods?
Not very much. I think mushrooms has it. It's so minimal. It really, I mean, think about it. Vitamin D is free. It's the sun vitamin. But Kevin, you're going to have to run around naked every day. I don't think Tracy wants to see that. I don't know. Maybe your neighbors, I don't know. No, you don't want to see it. I like that. That's awesome. No, but vitamin D is free if you're out there. Unfortunately, we wear too many clothes. We're not outside enough. Fermented foods is another really good gut healing food. You get that from kimchi and sauerkraut, kombucha. These are, what was it, another motion? Beer. I said fermented foods.
You better eat spring kimchi then.
Yeah, right. But the fermented foods has a lot of live enzymes, a lot of live bacteria. It really helps you restore the balance of good bacteria in your gut. Garlic. Garlic is a natural antibiotic. And what's really neat about garlic and being an antibiotic is these bacteria never get used to it. So you know the antibiotic resistant, this and that, doesn't happen when you take garlic. You can actually take garlic cloves, cut them in half, take them like pills if you want to. Just don't get too close to anybody. Coconut oil is another one that's really interesting. It has something called lauric acid in it. It really helps with skin. It helps prevent skin cancer because of that. But that lauric acid, when you eat it, it goes into your gut and disrupts bacterial cell walls and destroys it. So the bad bacteria is actually being destroyed by the lauric acid in the coconut oil. So you can wear the coconut oil, you can drink the coconut oil, you can put it in your smoothie, you can cook with it. That's what you really should be doing. Then of course fresh organic fruits and vegetables. Right? If you're not eating organic, you're getting lots of pesticides and herbicides. Those go into your gut. How do you think herbicides do to your? What do you think they do to your gut? I couldn't imagine that's going to be any good. No, so we really want to fix that. Go with the organic. And then we've actually just come out with something called a 14-day GI reboot. This is for general purposes. Not if you have an autoimmune problem right now, but if just for general purposes. If you think that you're having some issues with your gut, this 14-day reboot will actually help clean you out a little bit. I'm not saying you're going to be in the bathroom at all, but I'm telling you what it's going to do is help seal up the gut. It's going to come with Max GI, the vitamin D, the Pro Omega-3, the L-glutamine, and then the Max Greens, which is high in enzymes and organic fruits and vegetables. We do have that on special here tonight, and when you get it, it tells you how to do it. You're going to be on the advanced plan for those 14 days. It tells you when to take what. It's a really great protocol we put together for you. Now, regular exercise. Very, very important. The benefits of exercise are so great that it'd be like throwing away a winning lottery ticket. We need to make sure we exercise on a daily basis, and the best way to do this is through Max T3. Now, you have something, regular moderate exercise lowers upper respiratory tract infection rates. Oh, guys, you got them. Awesome. Thank you guys for listening. That was awesome. Let's move on. I need you guys to have my back tonight. What was I saying? Something about exercise being good. Upper respiratory, something. Max for 40 minutes a day actually reduced, and it was a cut in half. Yeah, half as many sick days from colds and sore throats that people who did. I mean, the research is proof. I mean, it's out there. So how do you do this? You get the family involved. Again, guys, being healthy is not a you thing. It's a family thing. You don't want to make it to 100 and have the family not be around anymore. So make sure you're doing this stuff with your family. For those of you that have kids, we've come up with a Maximize Living Food Shopping Scavenger Hunt. So we made copies of this in the back so you guys can take it. Next time you go shopping with your kids, that's very not stressful. You might not want to do that. But if you do that, this might make it more fun. I don't know. Going Max T3 with the family. My kids love doing it. Their form is not fantastic, but the fact that they're exercising makes it fun. Take a walk. do outdoor games. Just do things with the kids. Keep them active. Get them off the iPad. Get them off the TV. Get them focused on health. Reduce toxins. So we're going to reduce toxins by changing our oils. We're going to use olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil instead of those vegetable oils. I'm not one to waste money or food, but if you go home today and you find canola, you find vegetable oil, soybean oil, corn oil in your pantry, please throw it away for the sake of your future health. Go buy coconut oil. We have some here today. That is actually the only thing that's not on sale today because I already give it to you for what I paid for it, and I just buy it at Costco for you. Everything else here is 10% off. The packages that we put together are actually 15% off. That's the way to go. Read your labels. Avoid artificial ingredients, preservatives. Avoid taking medication. Even that Advil that you might take, that NSAID is destroying the lining of your gut. Don't do it. Reduce or eliminate alcohol consumption. I just like it. I'm giving you a hard time because you like to give me a hard time. All right. Then choose natural options for toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, sunblock. There's so many options out there. There's so many. If you've been to any of our workshops, we usually give out some recipes for those things. If you have questions about how to make them, shoot us an email. We'll be glad to share with you our recipes, steer you in the right direction. I mean, the easiest thing to do for cleaning your house instead of Pledge and Lysol and all those chemicals, vinegar and water. You want it to smell better? Put some essential oil in it. Done. No cancer. That easy. That easy. So let's do some recap steps, action steps. Number 1, reduce stress. For those of you that are guests, make sure you schedule your spinal evaluation. For those of you that are patients, make sure you never miss your weekly checkup. Greatly reduce your sugar consumption. Get out there, exercise, eat more foods that support your immune system. And like I said, if you leave here with at least one thing here tonight, when it comes to supplement, make sure you're all on a high dose of vitamin D3. We have a children's D3 as well. It comes in organic olive oil and it's a dropper. So children between 2,000 and 4,000, adults between 5,000 and 10,000. So who here's going to think of something good to do tonight? Everybody leave here with something that they didn't know before they got here. That is you. Is that vague enough? Yeah. No, guys, did you guys learn something good here tonight? Yes. Good. Is everybody going to be healthier if they just implement one of these things? Yes. Does everybody know somebody that should have been here tonight? Yes. Yes, we all know at least one person that could have been here, should have been here. So, you guys know me, I'm on a mission to change healthcare. We can't just help the 60 people that are in here. We have to help every single person in Canton and Woodstock and Holly Springs. It just can get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why our events keep getting bigger, because we're helping more and more people. We can only do it with your help. So, for those of you that have friends or family members or neighbors or coworkers that you wanted to get here and just couldn't make it for whatever reason, we're going to be doing a follow-up dinner with a doc a week from tonight. This is where we take the information, cut it in half, give them a summary, and feed them. Win, win, win. Win. Right? So all I ask you to do here tonight before you go, get that pen out, and in your packet you received this right here. This is a Help My Friends, Help My Family card. I know a lot of you have written down your friends in the past. They're not here tonight. Write them down again. If everybody here just writes down one person and we all come to dinner next week, we can just exponentially help this town. So take a moment, write down at least just one person that you want to get this information to so we can help them. We're going to help them next week, next Monday night. It's at Stratus Kitchen and Bar. It's at 7 p.m. It's on me. Tell them, leave their wallets at home. There's nothing to buy. I'm paying for everything. So, does anybody have any questions about what you're looking at tonight?
What'd you say about that D3? When it comes in liquid form, did you say?
I have both. The liquid form I typically would be for kids that can't swallow pills. The capsules I definitely would highly recommend for the adults because it does have the probiotic and the prebiotic in it. So if you can swallow a pill, go for the pill. If you're a baby, kid, whatever, do the drop. Anybody else?
I swallow pills.
You swallow pills? That's fantastic. That's awesome. I'm trying to think if I missed anything else. And of course, we do have our products here tonight. You guys all got a order form in your packet. easiest way if you want to order anything here tonight is to order it right there on the order form. Check off what you want. I do not have enough for everybody, especially when it comes to the glutamine. But if you order it here tonight, we'll get the seminar price, and then we'll have it for you by the end of the week. So all you gotta do is write down your card number, turn it in, and go fulfill.